Hello, it's Sarah Jane from Cards and a Cuppa, and I'm here today, believe it or not, with day 45 of my craft room clear out. So we're powering through the weeks here. I hope you're enjoying this series. So we're going to see if we can make my craft room look like ChatGPT's version and destash the craft room and see what we end up with. So I hope you're going to have a go in your craft room and maybe see what stamp sets you've got that you can have a play with again and use, and we'll see at the end how tidy the craft rooms end up. So today's stamp set is Build a Birthday, and I was inspired by Christina Warner, and she did some ink blending on watercolour paper. I don't know, I saw the video the other day, I don't know when she did it. But I thought I might just try stamping that stamp onto watercolour paper and colouring it to see what we end up with. So let's get started, and I'm glad you're here with me. Okay, so let's start with a colour combination for this card. And so I'm thinking mid colours rather than really light or really dark. So how about Just Jade, Magenta Madness, something yellow maybe to lift it, and Daffodil Delight. Oh, that's quite a nice combination, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, and then a base colour. I think we could go with Smoky Slate because that would just look like a silver cake stand. So let's stamp first and see how far we get with the stamping. So like I say, I'm going to stamp on watercolour paper. I'm going to get a couple of blocks. These stamps could do with a bit of a wash in soapy water because they've been sat for a while, but they're sticky enough by the look of it. So let's get our watercolour paper and have a little stamp. Now I'm going to try and leave a small gap between each one so that they don't bleed into each other when I watercolour them. Nice. Do pink at the bottom. So this is Magenta Madness. Obviously we're going to lose that texture anyway because we're going to do the watercolouring, but I just thought it was a fun technique to try and something different. Then Daffodil Delight. Nice. And then Just Jade at the top. I think I'll put the flags at the top, though they won't need much, if any, watercolour, just soften the texture on them though. And I might do that in the pink again. Nice. I quite like that as it is actually, but I will do the technique that I saw just for fun. I think it looks quite nice as it is, to be fair. I might just try with an aqua painter first. I don't know if I need a finer paintbrush, but we'll try with the aqua painter to start with and see how we get on. Just got a wet wipe in a bowl there to clean off my paintbrush in between. do actually keep a little bit of that pattern as well, which is quite nice. And so what I decided to do next was add a bit more ink to the images for a bit more definition and shadow. So this actually didn't take me very long, and I found it very therapeutic, but it is really long on the video. So I'm going to speed it up and add a little bit of music. But just before I do, if you need more ink in the lid of your ink pad like this, you can use your re-inker to just put a few drops in the lid. But if you don't have a re-inker, then just close over your ink pad and squeeze the top and bottom together, and it'll just pull in the lid of the ink pad so that you can work with it in the lid. Okay, I'm really happy with that actually. I think that looks really nice. I smudged it a little bit on that side. I don't recommend you paint over the really fine lines, but to fix it I added a little bit of Whisper White craft ink down the sides to cover up any of the smudges that I wasn't particularly happy with. But I mean, overall I think that's come out really nice. So I'm just going to get that on a card base, and I'm going to keep it quite simple, to be honest. Do stitched rectangles again. Hope you're not bored of them yet. Let's have a look and see if we can layer it. Oh yeah, that would work nicely. We'll do that, and then I promise next week we'll do something different. Okay, maybe I won't promise because I don't want to be lying to you. It just works so well. So I think we will do a pink layer and then do it on a grey card. That might be nice. So let's do some Magenta Madness, a layer of Magenta Madness here. And I'm going to make a base out of Smoky Slate, and then I've got this ribbon, I think it's Melon Mambo, but I think it should work across the top. So let's do the card base. Okay, so I'm going to stick that flat to the pink layer. And then I think I'm going to stick that flat to the card base as well. So these dies are made for American card sizes, so there's always a little gap at the top, hence why I thought I might put some ribbon there. Okay, that's nice, and I'm just going to add a few little sequins to it to finish it off. I'm going to leave it without a sentiment today, because I think actually it's quite enough. And then I'm just going to use multimedia matte to add the sequins. And that's today's card, inspired by Christina Warner's stained glass technique, and we've used the Build a Birthday stamp set. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I'd love if you had a go yourself and shared it with me. I'd love to see what you make. And so I'll be back next week with some more projects for you, and we'll be on day 50 next Friday, so I'll be having a little giveaway then. So don't forget to join me next week to see what I make with some of the old stamp sets in my stash. Thanks for watching today. Bye bye.